few minutes left with you, Doris. If you wouldn't mind just taking a moment out of this conversation to talk about yourself a little bit. You have called the NBA Finals on ESPN Radio since 2020, but this is TV. You are you got a big assignment for you and your career, obviously, but for so many people who can follow you. Doris, you're the first woman to be at the microphone on television for a men's major finals in the United States in the history of our medium, and I'm wondering if that's hit you in any way, shape, or form.
Well, thank you for making me more nervous than I already am.
You
Rich.
shouldn't be,
really
Doris. You're nervous is not the honestly. You're outstanding. You're awesome. So let's just remove that from the equation if we can.
Well, I'll be honest with you. It's meaningful. There's no doubt that sentiment hasn't dawned on me. Obviously, like what could be better for me if in some way this assignment helps women in some way. There could be nothing more meaningful, right? Like they're just, and I can't help but think about so many women, like even my predecessors, whether it's Jackie McMullen or watching the brilliant Candace Parker work in so many spheres, business, television, all the women behind the scenes at ESPN who love the sport and grind it out, local beat writers, somebody like Caitlin Cooper, who does an incredible job in new media covering the Pacers. Like, if this helps, I am thrilled. But, like what I've done my entire career is like, what's the next game I have and how can I be best prepared and hopefully bring the viewer as close to the game as I love. And I know how fortunate I am to sit there. And it's funny, anybody calling their first finals game is going to be nervous. There's no question. So I'm going to try to just put that other side, that thought aside so that I can because that would be overwhelming. And Mike Breen, I've worked with him for so long, Rich, so long. And over the years, I've heard him tell this story about his first NBA Finals game as the play-by-play. And now he's iconic and he's, synonymous with the sport. But he's calling the game next to the great Hubie Brown. Mm-hmm. And he's nervous or whatever's happened. And he goes, we go to break. And Hubie just looks at him, makes him take off his headset, puts his hand on his arm and said, "Kid, just call the damn game." And
I love it. I love it.
I hope I can just settle in and call the damn game. And I'm working with two extraordinary gentlemen. JJ Redick has been a phenomenal teammate. Mike Breen is the master of the position. And we have, this because you were once with us, we have the best of the best at every position. Graphics tape, producer, director. And, we're going to try to do the job as well as we can. That's for sure.
No doubt. And listen, I mean, you go back with Breen, I'm sure, to the MSG days when you were with MSG doing the Knicks before you joined ESPN. And this is not your first NBA Finals. You've been doing that at the radio mic for the great ESPN Radio since 2020. And and plus, I mean, the chair that you're in was previously occupied by another star Big East point guard. So I guess that's your role here. You know what I mean? Like you have everything that's necessary, and I just wanted to point that out. And in terms of your college career, 4 years in Providence. If there was a WNBA then, Doris, would you have gone into it? Would you have played in the WNBA?
I'm not sure I was good enough, to be perfectly honest with you.
Right.
I had a chance to go overseas when my career ended. And my final game my senior year at Providence, where we were playing in the WNIT, and I had played 3 games in 3 days, was a heavy minutes. And literally the last 10 minutes of my career, we were a running team. I go to catch an outlet pass and turn and spin to get in transition, and I blow my knee, both ligaments. And the surgeon right after said, "You need to make a decision. Are you going to go, or because it's going to impact the kind of surgery I perform?" And I sort of took that as a sign, like, I wasn't going to make very much money over there. And but no, to be honest, I don't think I was good enough. I could get anywhere I wanted off the dribble drive, Rich, but I was not a great shooter, so they always sagged off me. But I will say this, like, I'm always indebted to the WNBA. It's 1997 when that was formed. I was in the business, but that was the first time a woman as an analyst. So doing what Raft or Dick Vitale or, any analyst in basketball was doing, and that's make a living as a color analyst. I could do like 35 games of the WNBA and then 35 games of women's college basketball. And I was saying the last game that we were on, I'm listening to Chris Paul back in the studio teasing our halftime, and I'm sitting next to JJ Redick. I'm thinking, oh my God, I covered Chris as a freshman, his first game in Madison Square Garden at Wake, and I covered JJ as a freshman at Duke. I looked at my friend, I go, I am so old, it's frightening.
No, you are experienced, Doris. Let's call it that. Catch the Rich Eisen Show every single day on the Roku channel, 12 to 3 Eastern, for free.